Hello and welcome to episode 2 of my Medieval Dynasty series. I have been gathering all night long. I'm at the end of day 1, or I guess I'm at the beginning of day 2. It's 1:30 in the morning, and I have been gathering all night long. In my bag I've got 184 logs. I've got all this stuff. My skills, I've gone up couple times there on extraction from cutting down the trees, and several times here in survival. So as I mentioned in the first video, this right here, check out what you can do. You hold down Alt and look at all the highlights, and it does make your stamina go down really quick if you look at the stamina bar. But look at all those sticks and stones all over the ground. As I was saying, in this grass area next to the first city, it's everywhere. I chopped down a lot of trees and gathered, so this usually has more trees over here. I have no stamina. This hilly area, the grassy hilly area I was talking about, I did gather a bunch here, but as you can see, there's rocks all over the place. Probably 10 rocks right there in that area that I just walked past. More stamina, and you can see there's some plants there, and lots of rocks everywhere. So it's the middle of the night. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to decorations, campfires. I'm going to put a little campfire down. Actually, I'm too close to the city, so I have to get further away before I can even place it. So it's got to be far enough away from another place, and you can see too uneven to place. Too much of a hill right here to even place it. There's a spot right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sleep till the next day. So this will be bright and early day 2. And so I went through a couple missions. Now my mission is to build your first house. Well, from where I am to the city, at minimum is about how far away you have to be to build. And you need to have enough space to build your big city. There's a couple things I want to talk about because of the custom settings in which I have unlimited carry weight, which I'll turn off once I get the city started. You don't have to worry about it. But if you didn't have that turned on, one thing that you can do is you can go to buildings, storage, and I guess I only have one unlocked. So I can build resource storage number 1, which is a pretty big building. It takes quite a bit to create it, and obviously you can't put it on this hill. But what you can do is drop that storage, say, over here somewhere. Cut down all the trees, gather everything around it. Once your bags get full and you can't carry anymore, deposit it. Do it again, deposit it. And just leave that storage shed right there. And then say you go build your city right here. You put another storage shed, a second one, and they're all linked. In fact, sometimes in games, I'll have near every major city a storage shed and a house for myself. A storage shed, a house for myself. And that's only going to be viable if you have the building count on really high, like I do. Otherwise, you just don't have enough, you don't want to use up all your building space on stuff. But in doing that, one cool trick, when you go to management, you go to houses, which I have none right now, but it would say houses, and it would say house 1 or whatever, right? And you automatically, the first house you build is automatically your house. So if you want to have a villager, you have to build a second house for them. So if I have 5 houses spread out all over the map, what I can do is push, I think it's the C button, to make a different one my new home. And then when I wake up, and this only works at the beginning of a season. At the beginning of the season, you wake up in your own bed. No matter where you are on the map, you wake up in your own bed. So if you change your home to here, you're going to wake up over here, and you can do what you need to do. And then the next season, you can put it to wake up over here. And the next season, you can put it to wake up over here. And that only works if you travel to these areas, build a house, travel here, build a house, travel here, build a house. But that is a way to warp around the map because it gets... Some of these long runs are very long until you unlock a horse. But that is something you can do. In this particular playthrough, I am worried about my taxes. So I want to have as few buildings as possible. So I'm definitely not going to do any of that I just said. But that is something you can do, especially when you have that weight issue and you can't carry anymore. So I'm going to build over here. You're going to have to run really far to get there, really far back over here many times, and it's super annoying. So for now, I'm probably just going to build like right here. For taxes, every building that you build is going to have a tax rate, and at the end of the year or in the spring, so 1 year from now, when the next spring comes, I'm going to have to pay taxes for all the buildings I have during the year. And I believe it accumulates every day. I'm going to see if I can build a house right here. Too close to that city. So maybe right here. Alright, so that'll be my first house. So right away, you can see it places the skeleton of the building. And then you'll need your hammer, wooden hammer. When you pull that up, now you can see the highlights of what you would build. So Tier 1 is wattle. So this is only sticks and logs. Tier 2 is wooden, so it's going to be all logs. And Tier 3 is stone, so it's going to be a combination of stones and logs. What does this do for you? Well, you need a lot more firewood because this house sucks. It's made out of sticks. So in the wintertime, it's going to be freezing. You're going to burn through firewood like crazy. This one's warmer, so you're going to use a lot less firewood. It also affects the happiness of whoever lives there. You don't have your own happiness rating in the game, but any villager is going to be miserable living in this crappy house, content in that house, and really happy if they're living in this house. And the same with the roof. This is a straw roof, Tier 1, wood, 6 planks, and this one's 12 planks. So this is double the materials for the Tier 3 versus the Tier 2. So that's why I said gather a bunch of straw, because all the Tier 1 roofs, whether it's a house or a business or whatever, is going to need a bunch of straw. So that's my mission, to build my first house. Now, since that is already on the ground, if I go to management and I go to houses, you can see I've already got a tax rate, a tax of 2. And I'm not 100% on this because I haven't ever been worried about taxes before. So I don't know if it's a total of 2. So when the year comes through, I'm going to have to pay 2. I think it's 2 per day. So that's at 2. So let's see what it ends up being if I put it at, you know what, I'm going to save it. Let's see what happens if I build the house, what that does to the tax. And then I'm interested to see what if I had made it, well, I don't have any planks. I guess I could make some, but anyway, I'm interested to see what does the tax rate end up being if it's a skeleton versus built versus different tiers of materials. So it's probably annoying to watch me build this, but this is what you do. It takes a long time to build. If you unlock one of the skills, every time you complete a section, you can get like a 10% boost in speed, which will stack up to 3 times if you put 3 points into that skill. And then it'll make it much faster when you're building, especially if you're building huge cities like I do. So you can edit this. I'll show you on the next one. So that's done. So this one I can edit. So you hit E. You can change the shape. So a blank wall, which is what it is right now, and then you can pick the tier, right? Or I can edit and make it a window and choose the tier. So let's keep it on Tier 1. So I can change it to a window. You can only have one door, so I can't change this to a door. It won't let you. You already have a door. So to do that, what I can do is get rid of this. I'll make that a flat wall, Tier 1. And maybe I'll put the door right here. I've never put it on the side. Let's see what happens. Okay. I never put it on the side before. I always put it on the front as it is on default. Actually, I'm going to make that a window. I'm going to put the door here. The reason being is I didn't like the way the stairs pointed there. Now the stairs are aimed towards the road a little better, so it looks a little nicer. So I'm going to leave my road right there. You need a window looking out. I'll make that one regular, Let's make that a window. That's already a window, so we'll leave that as a wall and maybe make, you know what, let's make all the back ones window. Such a nice looking location. Let's make it, we can look all over. Look at those cut trees, they're beautiful. Alright, so I gotta finish building this. So my house is complete, I finished the mission, and as you see over here, my water meter is empty and I'm dying of thirst, literally dying of thirst. So I'm gonna go to the water here and drink this filthy lake water. So now I am not dying of thirst anymore and I'm full of water. So now I'm on chapter 2, and if I go to management, now I have a building limit of 1 out of 10. It'd be 1 out of 5 if you didn't have the thing doubled like I have it set on 200%. So now I can build whatever I want, and I can get some people to start moving in. Another thing is, if we go to houses here, I was looking at the tax rate. The tax rate is a 2. It did not change when I completed the house. So I'm going to keep note of that, because again, I'm worried about my taxes in this playthrough, and I want to keep them reasonable, because I have 0 income right now. Speaking of income, early in the game, there's 2 ways that you can make money, like right off the bat. I know of a spot right here across the bridge. There's these little sandbags, and they should have something in them. Some rye grain. So a price of 5, although they're going to end up selling for like 2 or something. So I'll take those. Hot plants, 250, nice find. So those will sell for like 125, about half of that. So there I got some money to get started with. If I run up and down the roads, eventually you'll find broken wagons that may have useful things. It could be a wooden shovel, or it could be an iron axe, which obviously is better and sells for a lot more money. You can find leather, arrows, all kinds of random stuff. So if you look around, you'll find that. You'll find some barrels. Every once in a while, it's actually kind of funny. You walk along the beach here, and then right here will be a pair of shoes, some pants, and like some coins, or maybe some coins, and then like a couple bottles of wine. Like somebody got drunk and took off their clothes and I guess drowned because they never came back. It's actually, there's some funny things like that. That looks like a barrel, but it's actually a rock. So anyway, if you walk around and spend time walking around, you can find these random things. And there's also bandit camps spread around. Early on in the first couple days, if not couple seasons, I never see anybody in them. But you may find some white tents in the ground, and you may find some random loot. So that's one way to make money. The other way, the more traditional way, is just to make stuff. I'm going to go through a lot of axes. So I'm going to go ahead and craft 25 axes right now. So I'll get my production up, and I can sell them if I want. I'm also going to need skinning knives and building hammers. So let me go ahead and make I'll just make 25 of everything. I can always sell some of this too. So one point is I need it. The other point is I need something to sell. And this is where that whatever it's called, the unlimited crafting stack or whatever, instead of crafting the hammers one at a time, I just did 25 at once. So it's pretty awesome. So I'll make 25 of these. So I'm just I'm making stuff, like I said, both to sell and things that are going to be useful. So this is also making our production skill go up. Let's see, is there anything I actually need from here right now? Not really. I'll put points into skills later. I don't think there's anything. Okay, the durability axe I'll take. Oh yeah, the 50% gain back from resources I'll take right now. Oh, an increase in carry weight. I'll go ahead and do that one right now because I'm going to turn that carry weight back off pretty soon. So I'll put my point right there. So anyway, so back to the quest. So I need to build a rabbit trap. So I'm going to go to decorations here, traps. There's a rabbit trap. Just takes 10 sticks and I just place it. Done. I need to make a spear. So I'm going to go here. There's a spear. And I'm going to craft... these actually don't do very much damage and you're going to miss a lot because they're a little hard to aim. So I'm going to go ahead and make 30 of these. I can sell them if they're extra. Production skill is going up, and I'm about to use them too. Oh, and here's we're already on the quest. Chapter 2: hunt a wild animal and then survive for a season. So this is springtime, uh, and to complete that quest and to get from 10 to I think 20 is the next one or something like that. In order to bump that limit up, I'm gonna have to go to summer. So spring, there's not much else for me to do except complete this quest. However, here's a tip. There are many plants. So you go building, farming, and then field right here. So I can't put a barn, well, 10 technology to unlock it. That'll take me like 5 seconds. So fields and orchards. A lot of the plants are going to, almost all the plants go in the spring. You plant them in the spring. There's a couple that you can plant at other seasons. And there's several that will plant in 2 seasons. I think carrots are spring and winter. And I think rye or oats, one of those two, is only in the fall. But anyway, majority you can plant in the spring. But once you switch to summer, where the series is really going to take off, where I'm going to start recruiting people and building a huge city and all that stuff, it's going to start day one of summertime. I'm not going to have access to all these plants. So I'm going to, before I switch to the next season, I want to put fields down. And you can see, well, there's roads there. You can't place them across the road, so it's going to turn red. You can place them over these little baby trees. They'll just disappear. See? And then you can go to your hammer, and you can right-click and go to destroy, and just get rid of that. And now the grass is back, but the trees are still gone. Oh, look, a broken wagon. Speaking of the devil. Is there anything here? Sometimes you got to kind of squat down at that. I can't tell if that's just dead grass or if that's like wheat. Oh, yep, there's wheat. Sometimes you got to get at the right angle to even like be able to pick it up. This looks like it's merged into the ground. I can't even highlight it. That's a mushroom, stone. Huh. Sometimes there'll be arrows like stuck into this, like the wagon was attacked and then left and abandoned. Sometimes there'll be tools, even as far as like over here. But I think this one just has a couple wheat that I can't even get. Sometimes there'll be like a shovel leaning up on the back, or sometimes there might be something in the grass over here that you can't see, but anyway, that's unfortunate on that one. Oh, so I cut down the trees. The trees will grow back eventually, but if I want to plant a farm, I'm going to have to get rid of them. So, I actually don't want... Alright, because I'm worried about taxes, I'm going to go ahead and destroy this house. I think I still have to pay the 2 gold of taxes I've accumulated on this house, but at least they won't accumulate any more. And for your player character, you don't actually even have to have a house. You can just sleep with a campfire or work all night and never sleep. So I don't need a house until I start recruiting somebody, and there's no way I'm going to build a city in this small spot. I just placed it here. It was the closest place to over there. The trap, I don't need. I'll just get rid of it. And you see I got some of my sticks back. So I'm just going to go ahead and journey to here, because this is where I want to put my first village. Speaking of finding stuff, somewhere down here, I'm not sure 100% looking at the map in the way we're looking at it. I think here, if you go across this bridge and you look down the creek, there'll be a cave. I think this is it right here. And if you walk in the cave, you'll usually find a pickaxe of like bronze or higher quality, and maybe a couple iron ores and stuff, and you can sell that. And then in random places like up in the mountain right here, you'll find a little treasure box maybe with a shovel. It's kind of random, so you may not find it in every spot. I don't want to travel really far, but in random places you'll find stuff. I've seen guides online that will show you some of the spots people have found, but since it's random, you may or may not find anything there. You're likely just to find stuff walking down the road, which is what we're going to do. Oh, so I'm dirty. I'm going to go take a bath. All you got to do to take a bath... Oh, look, some barrels. All you got to do to take a bath is just walk in the water that's deep enough. Boom. Look at that. I'm perfectly clean now. So here's some barrels. What we got? Fertilizer. That's good. And some flour. I'll probably just sell that. couple stones. Those are always good. So you see the random barrels you find. So you might think, well, hey, we already found a bunch of stuff along the river. I should walk here. But then you might miss the stuff that's on the road, the broken wagons, and sometimes you'll just find like a couple logs and an axe on the ground. Okay, so we're not to the spot that we want, but I do like to build a city here sometimes. And as you can see, in the spot I am right here, there's so much flat. Look at all that flat land. It's great for building a city. You saw earlier I had problems trying to place a city because the terrain was like a slope. But look at all that flat land. There's so much flat land over here. The roads kind of split right here. You can't really build much of anything between the roads till you get like over here where it's a little wider. And you can build a little bit down there between the road and the water in a couple places where it's not too narrow. But as you see, I keep walking. Look at all that flat land. And you can see the road splits, and eventually you can start building stuff because it's wider. But all this right here is flat. So if you want to build a huge city, this is a great place to do it. When I build a city, I like to have a little realism. So I like to be like, for example, you can put your lumber mill in the middle of a giant field. Oh, look at this. Way over here. Look how far this is. This fur that fell out of the wagon. Way over here. A knife. Some leather. A water skin. That's useful. So all that stuff from the wagon right there. Pretty good. So realism. So you can put your lumber mill like 1,000 miles from any tree, and it won't affect production. The guy might walk really far. Sometimes we're on this bridge. There's little bags, but there's not here right now. And if you walk up this stream, there's a waterfall, I think, right here, and there could be like a shovel or axe or something right there. But anyway, your guy will walk around looking for trees to pretend to chop. And then walk back when it's time to, go home. And they'll give you production of whatever, 10 trees per day, even though they physically only look like they chop one because it doesn't matter how far you are away. They may change that, and then you may regret taking advantage of that thing, right? So this is another area that's flat. So I moved a little further along. All this is flat, which I'm going to use this because I'm going to start here, but I'm going to finish over here. And you can build from this city, your block, to about like here is a radius around it. So I can build, in all this area. So that's what I'm going to use. But, if they ever change the game where the production rates of your villagers is affected by how far away, say, they are from their house to work, and how far away the stuff they're doing, like animals or trees or whatever, is from their house. Like, if they have to walk for half a day to get there, then they lose half a day's of work. That's not the way the game works right now, but if they ever changed it, well, most of my cities are going to be set up okay because I try to keep it as realistic as possible. And like, there's a bunch of berries right there, right? So you don't have to do it for game mechanics, but I'll probably place my herbalist right next to that, so they just have to walk 5 feet away to start picking berries. Okay, we got some rot. Rots can be turned into fertilizer, and it sells for 0 as far as I know, so only good for one thing. Torch. Oh, what's that? A spear. Nice. A copper spear. Does more damage. Most of the time with spears, you're going to want to throw it. It seems to do way more damage if you throw it. Like, I'll throw, like, say, 2 or 3 spears to kill an animal, but I might stand there and stab it, like, 10 times before it dies. So, now these are the birch trees I mentioned before. These white trees that only give 2. That's the bad thing. 2 bad things about this location. One is it's really far over here to Gustavia, where you have to go over and over again. And the other thing is you're surrounded by birch trees, which means to get 40 wood, instead of cutting down 10 maple trees, you're going to have to cut down 20 of these birch trees. Now, currently in the game, the type of tree does not affect the production rate of your woodcutters that I'm aware of. I don't believe it does at all. So it doesn't matter what kind of, like, how far the trees are, doesn't matter, and what type of trees are around. Now, if they change it, that's the one thing that this is going to really suffer for, because all these birch trees are going to give a very low production value if they change the game. But when I'm manually cutting down the trees, it's going to suck for me to cut down all these trees. All that over there is birch. Across over there is mostly birch. So it's going to take a lot of chopping, which is a good thing that I already brought 200 wood with me, or however much, 117. All right, so again, I like this spot. First of all, you're next to water, so you're never going to go thirsty. You got the crossroads, which is just aesthetically pleasing to me. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cities a very short trip away. The mines, there's a mine right here somewhere. So again, it doesn't matter how far you are for actually producing, but if you're thinking realism, it's not that long of a walk. And there's another one here, which is a pretty long walk, but not too long, because the other ones are like way over here. And there's an achievement if you put a mine in all of them. There's 1, 2, 3. One's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. You can see if you zoom in, this little black mark, that's the opening of the mine. So that's 4. And then the last one is, where is it? It's along here. But those are really far away. But for production, it doesn't matter. Realistically, if somebody had, a villager had to walk from here to do their mining job, they would not even make it over here before it's quitting time and time to go home and go to bed. So their production should be 0, but it's not. They'll get full production, the same as somebody that's just walking to here, which they can make in a quarter of a day and still have a half a day to work or whatever. Alright. So the other thing about this spot, it's got these rocks. You can do the pickaxe, which doesn't give you much. I'll even show you. Do I even have a pickaxe? No, but I'll make one real quick. I'm only going to get like 3 rocks out of this, and it's going to take way longer than picking up rocks. So look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times I got a hit, and I got 5 stone. Not a very good ratio. Even with an iron one, you could probably do it in like 3 swipes, but you're still not going to get a lot of rocks. But the downside of these is you can't build on them. You can build... go back to the farm. So you can build a farm. Well, and you can cover it. Well, I had to chop down that tree, but all the bushes, little rocks, most of this stuff will just disappear, and I'll build right over it. But these are so annoying because I like to build right up on the road, and this whole area I can't build anything right up on the road, and here too. But I usually, typically in the past, have like put the inn like right here and built some houses here and kept it tight, kind of like a centralized road right through my village. But I'm not going to do that anymore, because when you start putting gates and fences around your village, like a whole like big circle of fences around your main village, you can put, when you build a road, so if you go to road right here, I can build a road anywhere I want. I can put gates over my roads, but I can't put gates over these roads. I don't have the money to unlock any of these gates right now to show you, but you can't put gates over these, or if you can't get close enough to make the gates touch each other. So it's kind of pointless to have 2 gates with a gap between them that you can just walk through without using the gate. So I don't want these roads to be the middle of my town anymore. So I'll use these roads, but not for the middle of the town. So I'll probably put the main street of my town like cut across like right here or something. Okay, so here, I think I'm going to end this video and start another one, because it's going to be another long one. Yeah, so again, my goal, because I've got the custom game, I've got the the days, where is it? Oh, there it is. The length of days is set at 30 days. So That way I have 30 full days in the same season to get my villager skills high, which I'll cover probably 2 episodes from now, because next episode is going to be finishing out spring. So as soon as spring is done, survive a season, chapter 2, a survivalist, I'll complete that chapter. I'm dying of hunger. Let me eat that. So I'll complete chapter 2 once I move into summer, and that'll again increase my build limit from 10 to I think 20, and then I can get it higher and higher very quickly after that. So it's hard to start a village with only 10 people. So in the springtime, it's not even worth getting any workers the way I want to do it. And so I've still got 28 days to go. However, in the next day or two, if not already, I haven't tested what the earliest is. That I'm aware of, the earliest is like day 3 or 4. Once you have a house and you sleep in the bed, it'll have the option to sleep till next season, and I'll skip 25, 26, 27 days or whatever. So I'm not going to play all 30 days with no villagers. You can't do that at a campfire, however. Where's campfire? Right there. So I'll go ahead and put a campfire right there, and I'll keep using it over and over. So you can sleep here. It's not going to let me sleep till the next day for another hour and 10 minutes in the game, and you can see it's already an hour 9, hour 8, so it's pretty quick. A couple more minutes, and I can sleep, go to the next day. But it will not give you the option to sleep to the next season. However, you can do that in your own, well, it doesn't have to be your own bed, it can be any bed, but in a bed. So I'll go ahead and end this one, and I'll see you in the next one.